Is it morning? Is it afternoon? It's a bit of both. How you doing? Welcome into twitch.tv/ice cream. My name is Graham Dame, joined by Mr. Bib, and this is the UK's #1 video game podcast. Welcome in. Hi. Hi, Bib.
Hello, Graham. It most certainly is the #1 podcast. I mean, most consistent, at least.
Yeah. Ish. But anyway, if you are in the stream, hi, please do feel free to let us know. We are live on twitch.tv/ice cream, and we are about to give you our thoughts and our impressions of the biggest, the best, and the baking stories from the world of video games. Not the breaking stories, specifically the ones that involved baking. Nice. No, breaking stories from the world of video games. We'll give you our thoughts and impressions. We want to hear your thoughts and impressions. So if you're in the chat, please do, as people have been doing already in the pre-show, feel free to get involved. Do it. Do it now. But it is important that you do, because we are live on Twitch. The live stream is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon Music, a bunch of places where you can watch and listen to this podcast on demand. But the real show takes place
right now on Twitch.
Unless you listen to this on demand, then you know it's not right now on Twitch. That was a bit before, and you'll listen to it afterwards, but that's kind of how that works. Anyway, before all of that happens, a couple of talking points. We do reward subscribers to the channel. So if you are watching this on Twitch and you think, do you know what? I've got Amazon Prime. I'll throw a sub at a channel and not even pay for it. Then we'll take it. Give it us. We'll take it. Because if you do that, you can get involved in the loot drop. We actually have just drawn the loot drop earlier this week. Shout out to Merc, by the way, who bagged himself a free copy of Silent Hill 2 on PC just this... Did we draw it on Monday or did we draw it on Tuesday?
It was drawn on Monday. We reached out to the person on Tuesday.
Nice. So there you go. So Merc bagged himself a copy of Silent Hill earlier this week. And if you want to win stuff, then all you have to do is sub. Nice. If you are a sub, whether it's a tier 1, 2, 3, gifted sub, whatever, you automatically get included to all of the monthly loot drop stuff. So that's it. We appreciate you. We give it back. Nice. ICU does the bake-off. Yeah, baking stories from the world of video games.
That would be so fun if we could do something like that, though.
What, the bake-off?
Like some form of... Yeah, but like some form of challenge, not necessarily a bake-off. I mean, that would be funny as fuck because I can't bake. I imagine you can't, but this could be some sort of hidden talent that we've never spoke about.
I bake regularly, to be fair. Like, I bake absolute whiffers and then drop them in the office, like all the time. Sorry, no, okay. Totally humorous side, no. I do not have any skills in the kitchen whatsoever, apart from consumption. So...
I mean, that's the key one, right?
Yeah. So, yes.
You need to be the taste tester. But yeah, something like that would be funny as fuck. Some form of challenge where, yeah, like a bake. I mean, cooking might be a little bit... I'm not bragging or anything like that. I mean, I am a little bit, but I am a decent cook. So that would rule that one out. But something that we both either dog shit at or not tried before, that would be quite fun. Some sort of... Because they did Intel did that build-off one, didn't they? Where they had to build a PC using specific parts. Like
Fixer was cool. In that, wasn't he?
He was in that.
Yeah.
Don't think he won it though. Don't think he won it.
Yeah, I mean, Fixer's too cool to win shit like that. He'd be like, no, whatever, just whatever. Yeah, whatever.
He won. What was the other game show called? The video game one.
Games Master. Yeah.
He won Games Master.
Yeah. What an accolade that is, though, to be able to say, I went on and won Games Master. Fucking, boop, mic drop. Fucking, what a lad. What a lad.
But yeah, it would be sick to do something like that. I can't, for some reason, I'm having a mental block of things that we could do that are similar to Bake Off. And I don't know why. Maybe Total Wipeout or something like that, but I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing with our studio setup is there's no cooking stuff anywhere near it, and the only place that gets close to cooking is the kitchen in the office, and a bunch of people have been to the ICU/Chili office, and the kitchen it's like a placeholder for kitchen, this is an homage to a kitchen. You are.
It's a cubbyhole.
It is. It's literally a cupboard kind of thing here that someone's thought, fuck it, we'll just stick a sink in there.
It's a sink, one cupboard, and a microwave that some fucker keeps on using but never closing the door, and it stresses me out every bastard time. I go in and the microwave door's just open. It's like, you took your stuff out, You've had to open the door to put. You haven't closed the door.
Fume.
And I don't know who it is, but it's been like that since I've got there. So it must be someone who's either joined at the same time as me or was there before.
That's the kitchen equivalent of leaving your towel on the floor, and it pisses me off. Like, just fucking. Or the other one that annoys me is where someone makes a brew, sugar, coffee, hot water, milk. I mean, we won't fuss about the orders and shit, if whether you do milk first or whatever. That's it. We'll go with that, and then stir. And like you've got a cup that's been covered, not a spoon that's been covered in 100-degree liquid because it's freshly boiled, maybe just a few degrees under, but you get the point. So that carries very few germs on it at that point in time. So just take it to the sink, turn on the hot tap, and just give it a rinse and a wash, and put it in the draining bit. Jobs are good 'un. But people go, no, this has got very few germs. I'm going to leave it to fester on the side where the germs will grow and annoys the fuck out of me. Like, just want a spoon. If there's not a clean spoon in a kitchen, fuming. I mean, like, knives and forks, whatever. You stab shit, fucking cut shit, whatever. I understand if you're not. I mean, I still rinse all that shit off as I use it. But a spoon, if your kitchen doesn't have a spoon in it, anger.
Yeah, literally.
Let me catch up.
By the way,
You are.
what a podcast is this?
Yeah, talk to us about video games and how we treat spoons in the kitchen. Nice.
Oh God, this
is
the real shit.
The thing is, though, the questions you've got to be asking yourself if you are watching this podcast or listen to it on demand is, if this is the shit that makes it into the main show, what were we talking about in the pre-show? That's what you want to know. So, yeah. There you go. Anyway, turn the studio into a kitchen. I mean, there is a water cupboard / heater / thing when you go back through. So, I don't know if you've been to the studio since we redecorated the editing den is what we call it now. It used to be the store cupboard sort of stuff, but if you go through the back of... Well, it used to be dildo den. But don't ask questions. But if you go through the back and out the far side behind the kitchen cupboard, I say kitchen cupboard, I don't mean like the cupboard in the kitchen, I mean the kitchen that is a cupboard. Behind that, then there's all the water stuff. So in theory, would probably cost a bit more than we can afford from our sub revenue, but it's an idea. We'll put a pin in that one for now, maybe, potentially, maybe. Theodore, how you doing, mate? Or we could just do that. We could just have a pickle off. I mean, Tito's clearly got the advantage on that one with the fact that he only had to take one bite from a pickle and proceeded to eat the entire thing on stream. So,
oh God, that's an iconic ICU moment. I'm just trying to think now. Since we had our studio updated, have all of the crew been up? I can't remember.
I don't think so. Like,
The first one was definitely in the corner. The production station was definitely in the corner in the same room as the studio. But I can't remember if they've been since we moved it into the other room.
Yeah, I don't remember when we did it, because maybe the bit November last year for the birthday bash. Maybe we'd done it by then, because you were sat in that room whilst. Yeah, you were sat in that room whilst we were doing.
We had to do. Who did you end up speaking to?
From Special Effect.
Yes.
Pandemonium.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely did, yeah.
Get some old analog TVs and SNESes or other consoles and see you can get it set up and tuned in first.
That's a good shout, you know. I mean, CRT TVs nowadays are so expensive because of that. People still want to be able to plug in older consoles and things. Like I was looking for, those TVs. I think we spoke about this like last month. The TVs that used to have like a DVD player or a video player, depending on what area you were growing up in. Those are well expensive to buy now second hand on Facebook Marketplace. I thought they'd be like 20 quid. I was genuinely going to get one to go here, but I ain't spending like 100 quid to get one. Not a chance.
Like Sony Tron, like little monitor job is fucking hundreds for them when they work now. Sheesh. Also, David, we only have a very large studio space, so the chances of fitting 2 CRT TVs in that, settle down. Fucking hell, they're not flat screens these. We had someone who doesn't exactly have good hygiene standards at work. You work with Nietzsche? Wow, didn't know that. Obviously, with COVID, we were told short notice we'd be working from home. Upon returning to the office, her locker was like that scene from Men in Black with a civilization in the fridge. Disgusting. Nice. No, not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. There has been some stuff that slipped through the cracks in the history of the office, though, where people have left sandwich in a fridge or something, forgotten about it, and then that's it. Then, if you've forgot that your sandwich exists, maybe you've had something else, or someone's bought something in, or someone's done an office Mackies or a Subway run or whatever. So everyone eats and doesn't eat the dinner. You come in next week, and then there's like a sandwich in foil in the fridge. You instantly think, oh, that's not my sandwich. That's someone else's sandwich. And they think, oh, that's not my sandwich. Someone else's sandwich. And now this is unowned sandwich property that remains in the fridge, but because it's wrapped in foil, it looks legit kind of thing. And then it just stays there. And there was one that was in the fridge, I don't know how long. And I remember, like, I don't know if it was Andy or someone, one of the team in the office was just like, does this even belong to anyone? Because I'm pretty sure this has been in here for a while. I'm like, no idea. And he went to open it up, and I think it was like something from fucking The Last of Us. He like touched it, and these spores it was like, nope. Cleaned out the entire fridge.
Oh no.
Yeah. I've seen it in the cupboard. You could make jelly without a kitchen. We are jelly, mate. Done. So start the stream. Let's make jelly. Pow. There you go. Finish. Nice. Stream off. Job's good. Fuck this. I've just arrived and I've already been uppercutted. Yeah, it's because you wrote goths. As soon as I saw you write it, I thought, well, he's catching a stray here. I say stray, like, it was aimed right at you. It wasn't a stray. It fucking bah, 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 bah. Ads, how you doing, mate? Yeah, but that takes ages. There's nothing worse than half sloppy jelly. We need to do one of these, like, no-bake cakes sort of thing, where it's just like you get some cold shit, mix it enough, and then it just kind of turns into like a cheesecakey sort of stuff.
Maybe that's something that we can do when we inevitably go to do another Saturday stream from the office. Do like a 12-hour or something, because, 24 hours, baby will be sleeping for 12 of those. We'd do something like that to break it up in between. Like we just make brownies or something, like you say, a no-bake cake or something.
Do you know what? Like we could stick a microwave. We'll or an air fryer. That's a piece of piss. We'll just plug an air fryer in. We'll have some sort of like quick air fryer off kind of thing. Bagsid, by the way, I am volunteering myself to not get involved in the cook-off, but I will be the Mary Berry / Paul Hollywood. I'm going to eat that shit. Fuck yeah.
Handshakes.
Handshakes and soggy bottoms everywhere, mate. Fuck yeah. So, I mean, I realise I'm clearly not the biggest baking fan because I've just said Mary Berry. She's not been on it for about 10,000 years. It was Prue or something now. I don't know what. Whenever I hear the call of Prue, I instantly think of Prudential, which was an old man's bank like a bajillion years ago. So that's how old I am. So, but yes, I will eat the stuff. Nice.
Yeah. They have what's it called? No Fielding.
Not
no
fan.
Fielding, don't they? Was you not a Mighty Boosh fan?
Oh, Greg. Not really, no. So it was a bit too weird for me. I didn't really get it. So yeah, I preferred Mel and Sue. Mary Berry, more like Jerry the Berry.
Mel and Sue, weren't they the ones that do the fucking cleaning?
Yeah, I don't know. Whoever the hosts were of Bake Off back in the day.
Oh, right. Well, who am I thinking of then? Kim and Aggie.
That's
what I'm thinking of, yeah. Jesus. Mid-2000s TV nostalgia for you there.
Are they... Does anyone know if Kim and Aggie are still alive, by the way? Do they exist anymore? God damn.
I'm sure Kim went to like Big Brother and just ripped everyone a new arsehole. She was like a proper horrible person.
Yeah,
but
nasty
that was like
bastard.
TV. Yeah.
One died, didn't they? Oh, just. I'm assuming Kim's still alive. Then it must have been Aggie. Then Kim is, I think Aggie passed. Well, there you go, Bib. Nice one. Giving Aggie all the aggro.
I didn't bring the tone down. These did in the chat. You lot, you're all bringing it down.
Yeah, bloody hell. Honestly,
I'm gonna have to put like a timestamp in this for the description this week, just to skip this bit and go, here's the video game news.
72 hours later. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh yeah. So I mean, I'm going to say something to give you a little bit of hope, and then I'm going to instantly drag it away from you. Bibby's talking about the next Saturday stream. Just to let you know, Ice Cream Uploads' 8th birthday is in about 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks and 2 days, I think it is, to the exact day. But we aren't having a birthday stream, so yeah! So
I thought you were going to say something like, I was looking at the date then. I was thinking, it's so close to your birthday. Does he mean this is like going to be a combined birthday stream? So I think did we do that last year or the year before?
It was, yeah, we did it right at the end of November, and it was like the big birthday bash. Happy birthday! Thank you, mate. Was a mixture of my birthday, your birthday, and the channel's birthday. Because within a 2-week period, it goes Ice Cream uploads, me, then you kind of thing. My birthday, by the way, for anyone that wants to know, is the 3rd of December. It does say in the chat. There is a command, just in case you're not sure. Nice. So yeah, that's the way we kind of do it. So the 24th is the channel's birthday. So I was thinking, I think it's the 24th. I always have to double check that one. But I was thinking like, okay, maybe I could jump on a Sunday and do something. But yeah, we'll see. Probably it probably looks like we're not going to get the chance to benchmark it. Not benchmark. Highlight. We'll go with that one this year because. Busy as fuck, but we'll see. We might do something early doors next year, though. Like I said, we've been saying we were planning to do something in the summer, but so just got a message. Yeah, we were planning to do something in the summer, but something changed and our plans got stopped because something else was going to happen, and then something else didn't happen, and it was too late to do our plans. So yeah, we'll see if we can do something early doors or something next year. Nice. They are both alive. Just Googled it. Well, there you go. Honestly, these absolute horrible bastards. Honestly, God. Sheesh. Anyway, that's enough of that. Okay, we'll jump into video game news because that's what we're kind of supposed to be here. So the first story of the day for anyone that might be interested is around the PS5, specifically the PS5 Pro. Have you got one, babe?
No, Graham, I didn't.
Did you not see one in the office yesterday? Did you not take one home yesterday?
Do you know what? Would my job be worth 700 quid? Yes, because it was Lee's.
Yoink! So we had a couple of PS5 Pros rock up at the office yesterday. Sadly, they weren't for us. So obviously we do work in video games. We buy them for a whole bunch of different things. So we got some. We are the scalpers. By the way. No, but if the reason I mentioned scalpers is, let me just jump in to this one. Skadoosh. So this story, written by Chris Scullion over at VGC, says a lack of PS5 Pro shortages. So just to confirm that's kind of a double negative. There isn't a PS5 Pro shortage at the moment. So a lack of PS5 Pro shortages means that some scalpers that have bought shitloads of consoles to sell on at a profit are actually reselling at a loss. Lol. Fucking couldn't happen to a better bunch of bastards. Get the fuck. Anyway, it's the disc drive that's being sold at higher prices, actually. So anyway, scalpers looking to capitalize on the release of the PS5 Pro are struggling to make a profit due to its generally ready availability. While there remain a handful of sellers trying to sell the console at a profit, eBay UK currently has numerous sellers listing the £700 console for less than its retail price. A number of sellers currently have buy it now consoles on for £680 to £700, while others have auctions currently sitting between $510 and $670. And while these auctions will likely rise before the end, it seems less likely that they will surpass the console's £700 retail price. The situation appears to be the same in other countries, including Japan. Otaku Research Institute reports that while console is now seemingly sold out at most Japanese retailers, some stores were selling it throughout most of launch day without the need for reservations. On Japanese resale site Mercari, sellers are reportedly selling the console for about 10,000 to 20,000 yen, more than the retail price, which is £65 to £130. But Otaku Research Institute notes that because Mercari takes a 10% cut and shipping costs have also got to be considered, this still results in many resellers either breaking even or taking a loss. It also reports that numerous... Fuck off, man, with all these pop-ups, VGC, fuck! It also reports that numerous sellers of Mercari are now selling for lower than the retail price, stating that they're selling at a discount because multiple items were purchased. I'll keep going just to finish it off because there is quite a cool little bit at the end. So while it appeals that the console is generally available for those who want it, however, scalpers haven't completely abandoned the PS5 Pro. Instead, it's the console's external disk drive sold separately that's in short supply and being scalped. The disc drive is supposed to sell for £99.99, so 100 quid, but is currently sold out at every major retailer. And as a result, eBay UK sellers are posting buy it now listings selling the unit for £150 to £250. Nice. Mr. Bibb, what are your thoughts?
Yes. It's nice that things like this end up happening, because the first time around when the PlayStation 5s came out, it was a nightmare to get hold of. The scalpers had them for months. There was no stock anywhere to be able to get them. The people were setting up, and I think you was like one of the orchestrators of it, setting up like alerts on hot UK deals, and I can't remember the website that you said for everyone to sign up to, for them to put alerts on for when they're coming to stock, and it'll list everywhere that they're available.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the website now, but yeah, you'd get whenever something went live, you'd get messages going, it's on Amazon, it's on Argos, it's on whatever.
Yeah. That's how difficult it was, and this was genuinely for months that people couldn't get hold of them for, unless you wanted to spend nearly double to try and get your hands on it. If you were lucky, it would have been like £200 more. You had to go to places like Very and sign up to their newsletters and stuff. That's how I ended up getting mine, through Very. The way the pre-orders went up, and I was fortunate enough to be able to get hold of one through them. Not my usual place that I'd get something like that from, but yesterday Lee was telling me that he pre-ordered a disc drive from HMV, and I'm like, who's still buying stuff from HMV? But I suppose those are the places that people want to, but that people will be looking to get them from, because it's not the mainstream, it's not your Game or your Amazon and stuff like that. They'll get surplus stock, but it's not the first place that people will look. So if you can get in and get them, then it don't matter where you get it from, do you? But yeah, it's nice that they're having to swallow this pill, shall we say, because the PS5 Pro is going to be such a niche console, made even more niche by the fact that you're going to need a disc drive to be able to play games if you are someone who likes to buy physical games. Again, something that Lee was moaning about in the office yesterday. He still is very much like me. Unless we get given games by companies to be able to play or gifted, I tend to go out and buy physical copies of games. But things like Cyberpunk and Skyrim, I don't own those digitally. I have to play them with a disc. So yeah, unless it's firmly in the digital ecosystem, it is a pain in the ass. But yeah, it's annoying that one element of it, which supported by the PS5 Pro, PS5 Slim, obviously using this the disc drive if you wanted to buy that separately. It's not just a one system peripheral like it was before. So that's the thing that people can get caught up with, and are selling for 3 times the price I think it was being listed for yesterday.
It's 100 quid, but up to 250 quid is what they're selling it for. So yeah, almost, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if it's a small casualty, the disc drive, because there is a lot of games nowadays that are physical, and chances are, if you are someone who's in the PlayStation ecosystem, it might not necessarily be your main game, but the amount of games that we get given on a monthly basis from PlayStation, your catalog is probably like 500 games deep at this moment in time. So it's not the end of the world, and you can probably afford to wait 2 or 3 months for the scalpers to eventually get rid of their stock, and then they become a lot more mainstream again. Because don't forget, like the PlayStation 5 Slim, I don't know how well it sold. I'm going to say it probably isn't the SKU that's propping PlayStation up. I imagine still the core PlayStation 5 disc edition is probably outselling all of them for the time being. But the fact now that there is 2 SKUs that use that one hard drive now, they're going to produce more of them. It's not just the necessarily niche item nowadays. So I imagine you're probably not going to have to wait long. My guess is probably early January that you're probably going to start to see a lot more of these showing up in your local stores, but we don't really have them anymore. So your Amazons and your Game Online or your Shop 2s, all of these places will probably start to have them in stock, I imagine, after Christmas, early January.
I'm quite glad to see prices falling on this. So the PS5 Pro, for anyone that needs a little bit of a catch-up, the PS5 Pro was announced via Mark Cerny or Cherney or whatever his name is on one of the tech deep dive videos that he usually does. And it was announced with essentially a laughable price point, because you buy your PS5 Pro console, which doesn't come with the stand like basic PS5s come with a stand. It's only plastic, whereas this has got they're trying to sell it as a big fucking thing. It's got a metal stand. It's a ring. It's a metal ring that it stands on. To manufacture in the millions like they will do, a couple of quid. But no, 25 quid that they'll charge you for the stand. It costs you another 100 quid for the disk drive and so on. To buy the extra controllers and stuff like that, you're basically looking at £1,000 worth of console. It was over $1,000 anyway, but you're close to £1,000 in console price, which is madness.
It is. It sparked an even bigger debate off the back of this. That obviously me and you had a much deeper conversation about the fact that we may be looking to potentially move away from the PlayStation ecosystem, because if this is the price that they're going to be going in with now,
well,
the future consoles.
Just following on from that bit though, so you're looking at £1,000 of console. Everyone laughed at it and said, "I'm not asked. I'm not buying this piece of shit. Get the fuck." And PlayStation were like, "All right, but what we meant was though, this isn't your benchmark console. This is the top tier. Your benchmark console that you need to just get in and enjoy everything in the ecosystem is any one of the standard PS5s. So PS5 Slim, PS5 Digital, or PS5 Physical. Just get one of them. This is only for the people that really like games and really like the best technology and so on and have the extra money. You don't need to have this. So they tried to sell it as like it's almost like top end for the absolute core, which naturally every video gamer out there that's a gamer thinks they're the biggest and most hardcore. So it's kind of a little bit annoying / lol offensive to that. But okay, we'll give you that one. But then 2 weeks later, when, oh, by the way, do you know that thing that you didn't really want that no one's buying? We're now doing a 30th anniversary edition of it. And yeah, we're only going to release like 6. So yeah, good luck to the world trying to find one of these. So that naturally brought the hype. Everyone jumped on. They sold out instantly. And I was like, fuckers, that's going to push this into like scalp mode. Everyone's going to be like, oh, everyone needs the PS5 Pros. But I'm happy to see that it hasn't done that. Like, even that people are still going, no, you had me with the nostalgia with the PS5 Pro 30th Anniversary Edition. You do not have me at a £700 console that just gives me everything that my console gets already, but at the same time. And that, for anyone that doesn't know, the only real difference to the console is if you play on your PS5 right now on a 4K TV or monitor, you choose between, do you want 60 frames per second or 30 frames per second? Because if you choose 60, you're going to play your games at like 1080p or whatever it is. If you choose 30, you're going to play your games at 4K. You can't get both. Even though the box said it was an 8K console. Look at your PlayStation box. It'll tell you it's capable of 8K 120 FPS. Is basically what the box was saying. And now we're choosing, do you want 4K 60 or 4K 4K 30 or 1080 60, which is still last gen sort of stats. You did get some games like Spider-Man and Co coming out where they'd give you that sort of intermediate like level, and I'm pretty sure like Final Fantasy Rebirth and a few other newer ones have had the same sort of thing, where you can choose 60 frames per second, but it gives you kind of like a halfway house. So some of the textures in the game have been dumbed down to allow it to work. So you kind of get a halfway. So you're not even really, the extra 200 quid for this console isn't just allowing you to choose to have both options on. It's allowing you half of an option. That is what that is you're paying for there because of PISA, that PlayStation Super Sampling stuff, PSSR. That's what it says, PSSR, pisser. Nice, get in the bin. So you're paying £200 for pisser and half an option. So for me, in the bin, not interested. And it's quite funny because I was like, it's an option. If you want it, get it. If you don't, whatever. But no, I feel like this for me, the more it's sat and dwelled with me, the more it annoys me that people are going, no, it's an option, you don't have to spend it. Yeah, it's an option that you don't have to spend, but it's an option that they didn't have to make. It's a fucking something that they could have released, you know, in the actual console by holding off until the point of actually releasing, air quotes, next-gen console was available. Because the PS5 isn't really an advantage over the PS4. It is, but it isn't. And the PS5 Pro isn't really an advantage over the PS5. It is, but it isn't. But the fact that we've gone from a £400 console to £700 consoles with two, it is, but it isn't an upgrade, that's where it annoys me. And the bit that's even more annoying is, and I realise we are part of the problem here, we are both sat here with headsets that were completely free to us, that are very expensive. so on. I realise we're part of the problem here, but a lot of people out there are going, no, I mean, it's an option. If you don't want it, just don't buy it. Just stick with the standard PS5 and this, that, and the other. And it's like, no, all you're doing is helping cement that narrative. There doesn't need to be a £700 PlayStation that realistically, the only upgrade on it is there is 4 lines on the side rather than 1. Because that's it. There is nothing else. You get the PS5 Slim and there's 1 line on the side. On the PS5 Pro, there's 4. It looks like a shark's gills kind of thing. Other than that, it doesn't really do anything new. So, yeah, I'm glad that there is extra stock. I'm glad that scalpers are being hit in the pockets because they might think a little bit harder about not doing it again. And hopefully PlayStation think a little bit harder about how they position themselves in the market, because in a time when everyone is struggling to go, oh yeah, by the way, we haven't really done anything with our console since it launched. You know, the PS Portal that we released, we don't really give you any incentive to use that for anything anywhere other than just playing in your home relay where you've got your console anyway, so it applies to a few people. It just seems so lazy and expectant. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. I like PlayStation was the brand that was creative, had all of these ideas. They were trying new things. We've got the PSVR and we've got this. What's happened with the PSVR? Does that even do anything now apart from just gather dust and so on? So I would rather see them focus on putting value into their ecosystem and their users rather than trying to take more value out of it. So yeah, there you go. Hi, watching you from my telly for the first time. Hi, Lakes TV. How you doing, mate? Also, how do I say that? Loha is trying to maul Bibby now. There you go, Bib. You've been absolutely agged. Speaking of ag, both Kim and Aggie are still alive. They had a falling out. That's why you don't see them together. I'm thinking of the 2 fat ladies. One of them died. Were Kim and Aggie the cleaners? They were the cleaners. Yes. How you doing? How you doing, mate? Surprised you didn't also have digital editions of Skyrim. Bibby does. Both of the 2 fat ladies are dead now. Sheesh. A lot of retailers might also be holding stock ready for Black Friday. I won't be getting a Pro. No need really.
Switch 2, aren't you coming next year, ads? That's what you're holding out for.
Well,
we know your game.
There's no need for me because this screen that I'm looking at you guys on, this screen that I usually stream on, and this screen that Bibby's on, you can't see any of them, just take my word for it, are all 1080p screens. 240 hertz, but 1080p. So even if I got a PS5 Pro and plugged into it, I wouldn't get any benefit. So not bothered, mate. I'll just
genuinely, hand on heart, the only game that I have played on 4K on this console. Can you guess it?
Is it? To you, it's probably obvious. To me, I mean, there's the obvious bibs like your Skyrims and your Resident Evils, but then beyond that, there is also 75,000 other games that Bibby's played for 12 minutes.
Yeah. Well, when they brought out the anniversary edition of Skyrim, they did a load of upgrades to it. I don't know. I think it ended up going. You're getting like 4K textures. So I was like, need to fucking try this. Went downstairs, put it on the TV. Like it's like I was a little boy and the world just got whooshed through my eyeballs. It was the greatest day of my life, I think, and I've been married, bought a house, and had a child. But I think that was probably my number 1 best day of the life.
Samantha, don't watch this podcast, by the way. Don't do it.
She got to spend a copy of a fucking Skyrim every night on my pillow.
I love you, babe. She's like, me or the... No.
She knows.
I don't get the point of selling the stand separately. Have they heard of 3D printers? Everyone in the nan can knock one up. Yeah, but not everyone has one. So you can buy them off of Etsy and things like that. But by the time you've got a custom stand from Etsy and you've paid for the postage and packaging and stuff, you're about 12 to 16 quid in. You can get it for like 25 quid from Amazon, I imagine. A lot of people will be like, oh, fuck it. I know it's going to work if there's blah, blah, blah. I'll just stick with the... So that, I get and I don't get. Like, for me, I'll just stand the fucker up. It stands up on its own anyway. It's not like it's an egg and it's going to start wobbling around and shit like that. So I'll just stick it in the corner. It'll be fine. If I'm not getting the legit one, I won't bother from any other ones anyway. Also shit from Sony that despite the plates being the same dimensions as one of the plates, one of the plates has had tabs in a slightly different place fitting, meaning you have to buy new plates if you want to customize it. Once again, Sony showing there for the payers. Yeah, absolute rats, 100%. And that's the worst thing, is they have no real competition. Anyone that chooses to play on an Xbox is a failure at life. No, I'm joking. Banter. I'm saying that because T does an Xbox One. Get it? No. Because Xbox is doing phenomenally in any other vertical, what Xbox is doing with... Wow, ouch, I got you all. Yeah. What Xbox is doing with Game Pass and, servicing their community across Call of Duty and other games, phenomenal. But you put that next to PlayStation, and they just look like they are a failure. That's why Xbox don't see PlayStation as a competitor. They're like, well, that's a market that's clearly not for us. We aren't a competitor with them because we're a different offering now. But the flip side of that is PlayStation then go, we have no competitor. We can do what we want. And that is where you get the transition from for the players to for the payers. I'm rage quitting again, lads. Bye. Bye. So have a nice time. But that's where you get that transition. PlayStation go, well, we can just do what we want. Until we are actively losing money, we can do what we want. And you get that sort of complacency that Apple had by the time you got to the iPhone 6, 7, or 8, or whatever it was, where they go, do you know what? We don't really need to innovate or anything anymore. We'll just change the packaging and sell you for 200 quid more. PlayStation are there now, and it's shit. It's shit for gamers, not for PlayStation fans. I'm not asked about the Sony ponies versus Xbox. That stuff can get in the bin realistically. We're pushing the narrative for banter, but the realistic situation is Xbox aren't competing with Sony, and Sony don't care about Xbox. So they will both do their own thing, and neither one of them is competing against each other to push their whole community forward. It's just, look, no, we'll innovate and improve what we can when we can. There's not a need and desire, the fire in the belly to get out in front and be the first. The only time you get that is launches. It's no coincidence that the PlayStation and the Xbox release one game every 5 to 10 years. Average is 7, but it changes. And then they come out within a month from each other. That's not an accident. That's them still trying to compete. That's when they are competing. But beyond that, it's irrelevant then. Oh, okay, you might get the price. Xbox will announce their price, and PlayStation might go, well, that was just £10 cheaper. Ta-da! You don't even get that shit anymore. That was fucking genius when Xbox announced their the price for the Xbox One console, and then PlayStation went into their presentation and dropped their price to £10 cheaper than theirs or whatever it was, and went, oh, there's our price. And everyone was like, well, PlayStation wins. Fucking genius. That's Xbox's fault for putting themselves as the first E3 press conference, because everything gets to change their shit after you. We get to react to you. But there is none of this reaction anymore. Brands don't need to react to each other. That's why we end up with £700 consoles that just give you an extra 30 frames-ish. God damn it. Where did we catch? The SNS. Yes. That's what I think the next Switch will be called. What, the SNS? The Sony Nintendo Switch? I am not calling it SNS, by the way, because that's already a term in the industry that we work in. SNS is social networking sites. So there's all sorts of different phrases for it if you work in social media. You've got OSM, which is online social media or owned social media. So a brand has its OSM channels, or there's SNS channels, social network site channels kind of stuff. So if they call it that, get in the bin. Companies here are already setting prices high on different things just to sell them like $10 lowered actual price on Black. Oh yeah, shit! Put the prices up and artificially inflate the sales. Bin. I think Bibby mentioned that exact thing in the office yesterday when we were talking about Black Friday. Most libraries offer a 3D printing service. It's just a case of finding one that isn't being closed. Night Devil says, wow, ouch. That was because she just realised that she's got an Xbox. Sorry, mate. I'm Rich Quitting again, lads. Bye. Where are you placing your ping? Do you know what he's on about? Does anybody know what Bibby's on about? Because he's muted.
I think the compressor's just really good.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was. Okay, what did you say?
Doesn't matter. Move on.
Okay, nice. I'd also like to congratulate Bibby on his TV advert debut for Chicago Town Pizzas.
I've just seen it. It's fucking disgraceful.
He's
got no beard.
I'm going to need a link. I'm going to need a link in the chat. Thank you very much. This is what worries me with Nintendo's next console. They don't have competition. Super Nintendo Switch, yeah, I thought so. What minute marker am I getting? Second.
Like 2 seconds.
Oh my god.
No beard.
Turn your head to your left slightly. Take your headset off and your hat and fluff your hair up.
Absolutely not. It's horrific.
Okay,
I'm receding by the day here, Graham. The hat is remaining on for the rest of my life.
Like, so Bibby's there. Let me full screen this. Pow, 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 pow. This is what happened. This is Bibby. If Bibby was in Shaun of the Dead, white shirt, red tie, just needs a little bit of a red pocket. Turn to your left. Yeah, your left a bit. Yeah, that way. Bit more. Slight bit more. There we go. Pow, 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 pow. Same. Honestly, thank you for the information there. Appreciate that very much. I definitely won't watch the advert. I will just live on knowing that Bibby lives on because of Chicago Town pizzas, as we all do, really. I mean, we've all eaten Chicago Town. Nice. Needs a cornetto too. Yeah, and red on you. That's it. Exactly. How you doing, JMK? Welcome in. Okay, we'll move on. PS5 Pro scalpers are, and I quote Mr. Chris Scullion at VGC here, dickhead. No, he didn't say that. He says losing out on money because they, people don't want the PS5 Pro. That's it. Nice. Okay, I keep minimizing the scoop title at the top. Is they're discussing now that I need to go. Fuck's sake. Okay, next news story. Bibby's favourite game, Death Stranding, is now available for Xbox in a surprise release. You are a massive Death Stranding fan, Bib. Yeah, okay, maybe he's not. Shout out to Adam online, though, because he did say he's here because he heard Kojima, and now we're going to shit on it. No, we're not going to shit on it, really. But it's good news for Xbox fans. Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding, Baby's Still Dead, is now available for Xbox in a surprise release. Written by Andy Robin at VGC. The Xbox version is available at a 50% discount for a limited time. Sad face. So Kojima Productions' Death Stranding is now available for Xbox Series X and S in a surprise release. He's just slowly going. It's where Bibby just goes ka-donk at the bottom of the screen. The developer announced the Xbox version in a social media post on Thursday and confirmed that it will be available at a 50% discount for a limited time, which means it costs just £17.49 in the UK. The announcement was made as the clock ticked to midnight in Japan, marking exactly 5 years since Death Stranding was released for the PS4, which could suggest that... Let me jump over to Big Ben. Let's go over here. I'll keep him on the screen while I catch up with the article. The announcement was made as a clock ticked midnight in Japan, marking exactly 5 years since Death Stranding was released for the PS4, which could suggest that an exclusivity agreement expired. According to the game's Xbox.com page, Death Stranding includes support for Xbox achievements, cloud saves, play anywhere, as well as the director's cut features such as photo mode, ultra-wide monitor support, and more. For anyone that's watching this... made the joke that Bibby doesn't like Death Stranding. He's slowly falling out the bottom of the chair. Sony published Death Stranding for PS4 in November 2019, and 505 released it for PC in July. Bib! I know!
Oh, God. How long was it out?
I just want to say Death Stranding, Bib. Yeah, anyway, Death Stranding stuff. I might as well jump back into the split screen. The article's kind of covered. Death Stranding, which was a PlayStation exclusive for 5 years.
Snooze fest, that's what it was, Graham.
Question in the chat. Naturally, we hammed that up there. But Death Stranding, did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you interested in playing it on Xbox? Have you ever played it on PlayStation? Are you an Xbox user that's never played it, but now interested in playing it, especially with it being 50% off? What are your thoughts? Bibby's edging.
No, it's 100% not my type of game. Like, we had Josie, who used to stream on this channel many years ago, 3 years ago probably now, and she completed it on stream, and it, not because of her personality, because her personality was fantastic, but it was a tough stream to follow. Like, it's not my kind of game whatsoever. It's far too batshit for me. Even by Kojima's standards, I think it was far too batshit. I remember when the trailers were originally started to roll out for the game, and I was quite excited about it. And then you quickly realise that I know it's not the full purpose of it, but you are just a fucking UPS delivery driver. Take away the UPS and whatever the name of the brand is, but traversing across whatever planet that you're on to try and deliver these incubated babies from one place to another, and then everything that happens in between. It's not for me. It looked like a walking simulator. I'm sure there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more brain work required to try and read between the lines, but it's not something that I was excited about once figuring out what the gameplay was like and stuff. Very tough watch for anyone who was doing a let's play of it and things, but yeah, I imagine the people who thoroughly enjoyed it and probably are waiting Death Stranding 2 with bated breath, because it's probably going to change completely again for that. Is it going to be more of the same? I can't see it being more of the same with Hideo Kojima at the helm, but it wasn't for me in any way, shape, or form, and I think I've made that abundantly clear in the last 5 minutes.
Just a little bit. I'm interested to see how it actually gets on. Not Death Stranding. So just to confirm, Death Stranding, the original 5-year-old game, the assumption is because it was the stroke of midnight 5 years after that it was announced that it was coming to Xbox, that an exclusivity of 5 years was applied to the game and has lifted. Don't know if that's the case. That's what the article says, and I've never actually considered that, so that's news to me, but sounds legit. Could be. And one thing that Kojima and co are very, very good at is maximizing hype at the right times. So there's some very good people that work at Kojima Productions. I know Jay Bohr from his time at Konami. We've crossed paths and worked with him quite a bit. He's very good at PR. His role is PR at Kojima Productions. So seeing him being a very big force at Kojima Productions, assuming he's still there, by the way. I think he is. That's the kind of player that him or Kojima or any of the creatives there would be like, yep, let's jump on this as soon as we can do it. But the bit that I'm interested in seeing is not so much whether this succeeds, but whether Death Stranding 2 succeeds. Because Death Stranding was almost gifted the keys to the city because Hideo Kojima is such a massive force in video games. One of the most creative people in the industry, spawned entire genres, and has tried to do the same again with Death Stranding. So the game was always going to be successful, not just because it was Hideo Kojima, but because it was his first game after a very emotive breakup, but also because it was his first game with PlayStation, working, was it the Guerrilla engine they used in the end? He did a big tour of all of the studios.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Seeing which one he wanted to use. He eventually chose, we'll just assume it's that one, I could be wrong. So he eventually chose one of PlayStation's first-party engines, Decima, there we go. So he eventually chose to use the Decima engine, which was made by Guerrilla to create the game. The game looked phenomenal. It was always going to be successful because he had Norman Reedus on it, which satisfies an itch for people that wanted Norman Reedus from the PT fame sort of stuff. Works with Guillermo del Toro, PT crossover there, plus Leia Seydoux and a bunch of other big names in there too. So, like, it was always going to be a success. The bit that's going to be interesting for me is the difference of opinion that some people have. So Bibby found it a snooze fest. Like I said, we did ham it up a bit. He's never hated it as much as he has until this podcast. So now all of a sudden, Bibby is the biggest enemy of it ever, and he hasn't been. It's just not for me, sort of game. But people have had that sort of opinion. A lot of people have gone, I just didn't bother with it, just didn't finish it. Whereas other people that have played through it multiple times, it's full on Kojima. It's not the gameplay, it's about the experience and so on.
Yeah.
So the bit for me...
Well, that's what he's very good at creating, isn't it?
Yeah, but the bit for me is like, will 2 succeed? Because I think Death Stranding was a huge success. Death Stranding 2 on Xbox, I think, could be a huge success because there's a whole new market that gets to play it again, especially with 50% off. Might not be a huge success because you've got the issue with Xbox and not even full price, but just any priced games on an ecosystem where everyone's accustomed to getting shit for free because of Game Pass Ultimate and so on. So even it might not be a success on Xbox, but let's just assume it is. I would be intrigued to see what it comes like when people... It's not a free hit anymore for number 2 because it's not just the backing of PlayStation. It's now out on Xbox. It's not just your first game since you've gone out on your own. Because now, Kojima Productions is... I want to point out, Kojima Productions is not an independent studio in the terms of indie. When you are making... games for a first party like PlayStation. The phrase, it's not an official phrase for the industry, but it's referred to as second party. So your first party games are PlayStation games made by PlayStation for PlayStation. Your third party games are games by Ubisoft for PlayStation and Xbox and so on. But when an external party makes something for PlayStation or Xbox, it's referred to as second party, but never truly fully backed. I don't know if it is a proper like industry recognized term, but I know some people do and some people don't recognize it. Whilst they are an indie studio, they're an independent studio, they're not an indie studio. So they do have money, they do have resources, they have the power and... I mean, if someone tries to tell me a game that has Mads Mikkelsen, Leia Seydoux and all the rest on it is an independent game, these are James Bond people. Like, fucking no, this is not in there. So anyway, the point being, wrapping it all back up again, is you've had your free hit. Will it be as successful again? Because the first one, I believe, was averaging about 7 and 8 out of 10. Will they manage to find a way to push that from 7 and 8 to 8 to 9 to 9 to 10 out of 10 and get the same sort of cut through? I hope so. Because Hideo Kojima's creative experiences are, for me as a video gamer, some of the best that I've ever had in my life. Metal Gear Solid 3 still sits up there as like probably my all-time favorite game. Probably. There's still some movement, but probably. But I played about 15 minutes of Death Stranding, and arguably, as someone that knows Hideo Kojima stuff, that's not enough time. But in that first 15 minutes, I had to stop for work or whatever. I was like, I'll come back to that, and never did. Never installed it again. So, yeah. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully Death Stranding 2 is great, and hopefully Death Stranding 1 has all the success on Xbox, but we'll see. Okay, I'll jump back through the Chab. Nice.
Chab.
Wow, he did shave his beard off the other week. Now we know the real reason. I'm traveling, so apologise if I'm behind. No! Bibby's edging. He might be legit asleep. Bibby is auditioning for a zombie in Shaun of the Dead sequel.
Nail it.
Chicago Town Pizza Coma. It was shit. I quit after an hour. Walking sim. I'm stoked more people get to play it. See, this is it. Back-to-back opinions. It was shit. I quit after an hour. Walking sim. Straight into I'm stoked. More people get to play it. I will not ever play Death Stranding. I loved her streams, miss her. What, Bibby? She's right here. Yeah, miss Josie. Josie was ace, by the way.
Yes, she was.
Shout out to anyone that remembers Josie. If you don't remember Josie, then I'm not going to tell you. You needed to be there. Never wanted to mention her as I didn't know what happened between you. Oh, we know. Okay, well, I will tell you now then, since you think something kicked off. Basically, we were busy as fuck, and we wanted to keep the channel moving in the downtime. So we essentially recruited a few people to stream on the channel. And a couple of those dropped out really early on because they basically got full-time work and they were like, oh, I can't do these bits on the side part-time. That was paid. They were paid. We weren't just exploiting people by going, we'll give you video games. Pardon me, excuse me. So 2 of the people left, which left Josie, but then she also had full-time work coming and pandemic and stuff like that. So we essentially just parted ways with the idea of we'll put a pin in it and we might come back to it at some point in the future. But pandemic meant me and Bibby got more time on stream and so on. So we just never repicked that up. So yeah, Josie was ace. Nothing wrong with Josie. It was just we don't make millions of pounds to be able to support people on ICU. So we had a bit of a dabble. We had some fun times together and we all kind of went our own ways. It was great. Nice. Okay. Get off the fence, Bib, says Tito. It's totally walking sim, but a really good one if that's your jam. And it looks fucking amazing. Some of the character and enemy design's good as well. But naturally, Kojima and Yoji, would you expect? I don't know anyone that wants to play Death Stranding or even thinks it's good. Sheesh! Just say what you really feel, Lake. Goddamn. Spidge, good evening. Afternoon, whatever it is, I don't know. Interested to see what his big Xbox project is, the one that was only possible due to leveraging the xCloud. Yeah, same. Part of its success was totally because the marketing was batshit, but now the cat's out of the bag. It's not an unknown quantity anymore. Exactly. God damn, you fellas have a license for being so handsome. Sadly not. This is a risk that every time we go live, we risk the digital equivalent of knickers, underwear being thrown at us on stage. It's just what we do for the art of content creation. Might have to come kiss you. Arrest you. Yeah, baby. I mean, goddamn. Hope she's doing well. She was amazing. Still waiting for my ICU invitation. Relocation, 6-figure sum, and Bibby supplies the cornetto. Do you know what? I can commit to every single one of those terms. You can relocate to Blackpool to be part of ICU. Bibby will get you a cornetto and a 6-figure sum. Okay, 100 plus 300. There you go. 6 figures in that sum. Sort you out. See if you can figure it out, mate. If you do, nice one. If you don't, job's a good one. But yeah, it's all on you now, West. The sum completed. It's 400, by the way. Nice.
Did you see me holding that yawning then? Fucking hell, that was hard work. Oh, I think my eyes are just trying to pop out my head. I don't know why I just didn't yawn. Why did I try and cover that up? Jesus. That's sneezing with your eyes open.
For any one of the audio podcasts, Bibby was full on yawning to the point where his nostrils were flaring and everything. He was like,
I'm just trying to be polite. Fucking hell, I wish I'd have bothered.
Oh, amazing. Oh, fucking incredible. Nice. Okay, nice. Do you know what? Death Stranding, I genuinely feel if I didn't have life and shit to get in the way, I think I would really enjoy that game. So all of you lot that said it's walking sim and dog shit and stuff,
Fuck off, you bunch of bastards.
but you know, you can have your own opinion. It's just wrong. Nice. Okay, next story is one for ads. Get yourselves comfortable, especially you ads. Settle down. Have we ever featured Ars Technica as news sources?
Probably if your brother submitted stuff before, because this is one that he submitted.
Oh, in that case, let's go back. Fuck this. Let's find something else to talk about. Yeah, Kyle Orland at Ars Technica says Nintendo confirms Switch 2 will play original Switch games. Quote, more software has been played on Nintendo Switch than on any other Nintendo hardware. Ooh, I mean, it's not really a fuck me fact when it's like almost the best-selling console of all time. So it kind of makes sense. But anyway. As US states were busy counting votes to confirm who would be the next president Tuesday night, Nintendo's Japanese Twitter account was busy confirming a key backward compatibility feature. I managed to say it properly that time as well. Nice. It was almost like the 2024 Xbox boss. What was it said before? Backwards... Got back... I can't remember. Never mind. Anyway. A key compatibility feature for backwardsness for the Nintendo Switch successor, which is still only pre-announced. Anyway, at today's corporate management policy briefing, we announced that Nintendo Switch software will also be playable on the successor to the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo posted in the social media update attributed to company president Shintaro Furukawa. Quote, Nintendo Switch Online will be available on the successor to Nintendo Switch as well. In the full policy briefing referenced in that post, Nintendo adds that it believes that this is important for Nintendo's future to make use of Nintendo accounts and carry over the good relationship that we have built with over 100 million annual playing users on Nintendo Switch to its successor. The company also makes the perhaps obvious clarification that, quote, in addition to being able to play Nintendo Switch software they currently own, consumers will be able to choose their next purchase from a broad selection of titles released for Nintendo Switch on its successor. Subtitle. How long is this? Oh, it's not too long. Okay, a crucial feature. Nintendo offered broad, vague hints on its next console's backwards compatibility well over a year ago, saying at the time, quotes, as for the transition from Nintendo Switch to the next-gen machine, we want to do as much as possible in order to smoothly transition our customers while utilizing the Nintendo account, end quote. In recent months, we've gotten multiple reports that this kind of backward compatibility was already in the works via supply chain and game development source. I'm going to stop there because it seems like it's just rehashing the same sort of news. Nintendo Switch 2, which isn't its legit name. And do you know what? Stop there for a second. We know that that's not its legit name yet. I mean, it could definitely be called Nintendo Switch 2. We've got a PS5 and a PS4 and a 3 and a whatever. It could be. But Nintendo has never called a console 2 before. But they definitely aren't committing to calling it Nintendo Switch 2, as where was it? There. At today's corporate management policy briefing, we announced that Nintendo Switch software will also be playable on, and this is such an amazing name for a console, the successor to the Nintendo Switch. Nice! Let's go! Always wanted to play on the successor to the PlayStation 5 myself. Yeah, big fan. Big fan. But anyway, Nintendo Switch 2, whatever it will be called, they have confirmed that backwards compatibility is going to be a thing. Switch games will play on the Switch 2, as well as the Nintendo account bringing access to the what was it called? What's the console? The stuff. The stuff that gives you access to like N64, SNES, and whatever. It's like something like
Nintendo Online.
Is that all it's called? Like,
I'm sure it's just called like Nintendo Online or something.
I remember there was something like Digital Console back in the day. They've probably rebranded that since. But yeah, I can see it in the post as well. Nintendo Switch Online will be available on the Success 2. Nice! So yeah, big moves. What are your thoughts, Mr. Big? Mr. Big? Mr. Bib?
Mr. Big Surf. Yes. I mean, I still play my Switch. Thoroughly enjoy it. It's a fantastic console. I'm going to say it's probably one of the best consoles that we've seen in maybe the last 15 years for its versatility and its staying power. Like Nintendo consoles never really, set a generation on fire in terms of like performance. It's all about the games. It's all about the IPs that they end up holding with it. And you'll get the best out of those games and let the games that have been made for that console. I'm not just talking about your Marios and your Zeldas. I'm talking about the third-party support. Like, the way Doom looks and plays on that game is so close to playing it on a console or a PC. I mean, if you're going like for like, obviously not, because it's a console that doesn't have anywhere near the amount of power that a PlayStation or PC has when it comes to playing any kind of Doom game, Doom Eternal or Doom 2016. But it plays flawlessly. It's a fantastic console. You couldn't, if you are investing your time in playing those types of games, like playing Skyrim, on a fantastic experience all around. But the fact that it was a hybrid console, you play it in your hands or play it on your TV, revolutionary, amazing. But it doesn't have that modern day console, that firepower. But genuinely, people who end up playing Nintendo consoles probably don't want that. It's all about the games. It's all about the gameplay, which I can respect both sides of the party. I know what I'm getting from a Nintendo console. I don't expect anything more from it. I know what I'm getting on a PlayStation console. I don't expect anything more of it until they end up releasing a Pro version, which is obviously... I'm not going to even say light years ahead of the PlayStation 5 because it genuinely isn't. But performance-wise, I'm very excited to see what the Nintendo Switch 2 or the successor to the Nintendo Switch ends up looking like. But the fact that you can play backwards compatible games on it, is it just going to be something that's like... Is it just going to be a straight up port of the game? Are they going to upscale it a little bit? Like there is questions, and I'm genuinely not asked. I would still be getting one anyway. Like the fact that I can potentially put my Nintendo Switch into retirement and play everything that I played on my Nintendo Switch on the successor to the Nintendo Switch, fantastic, amazing. But does that mean that the cartridges for the new Nintendo Switch are going to be the same as the old ones, or is it going to have the same port? Is it just going to have a different cartridge slot?
Yeah, that's the question for me. Is like, will it have cartridges? I'm assuming it will, because Nintendo Switch still has a very big physical market, particularly in Asia, from what I remember as well. Like there's a huge collector's market.
It's got to be the biggest, right?
Yeah.
If we're talking about like home consoles like your PlayStation and Xbox and the Nintendo Switch has to have more physical copies of games being sold in it than anything else.
So that's the thing for me, is like, I assume it will have that. But then I'm thinking, I was checking myself the other day when I first heard this story, and it was like, will the Switch have like backwards compatibility for cartridges, or is it only games that you get through your digital account? Is it going to be that sort of Nintendo Switch Online? Will the Switch 2 only play digital games? Will it take the cartridges? Are they going to change the way cartridges work? Because they changed the shape of cartridges from the I'm going to use English words. I know it's the NES and the SNES. Get in the bin, by the way. From the NES to the SNES, different cartridges. From what was it, like Game Boy and Game Boy Color to the Game Boy Advances, they dropped down in size by half, although you could still stick it in. It just stuck out the top of the console and stuff. So are we going to get those sort of situations? Are they going to try and save plastic by giving us like SD or SIM card sized fucking cartridges and stuff like that? And we're going to have half the game sticking out of it or something? Is there going to be a weird sort of like Nintendo plan here where they come in and go, yep, we've got an idea, and it'll just be odd? Like, because nowhere in here is it said that games will be backwards compatible digitally and physically. I'm hoping they are, because it's Nintendo, and that's kind of the whole experience is digital and physical. I don't know if you can hear Milo kicking off. He's proper rowdy in the background. So, like, it doesn't mention that. I'm assuming it will be physical. So that means we're going to have the same cartridges and the same sort of port sort of setup. I mean, we've already seen leaked designs of what the Switch is supposed to, well, the Switch 2 is supposed to look like, and it's almost the same, but bigger. The Joy-Cons are supposed to be magnetic clips or something, they were saying on the side, and so on, which is supposed to make it be a bit more rigid and so on. So having the same sort of cartridge size makes sense, but yeah, what Bibby's busy like pulling things off of his shelves. What are you looking for?
So I thought, because you was talking about cartridge cartridge sizes from other consoles, from other Nintendo consoles. So I thought, I've got a couple to hand. Obviously, we can just have a quick look at them. So this one was mine. This one was mine. My Nintendo, my Game Boy Advance, and this one was my Game Boy Color. Like, these two are mine, right? These two are my sister's. So this one and this one, right? She didn't want them anymore, so I thought, fuck it. And then
for the benefit of the audio listeners, so Bibby held up a Game Boy Advance and a blue Game Boy Color, followed by a Game Boy Advance SP and was it a red Game Boy Color?
No, it's more pink. I'm not sure the actual color choice for that one.
It just looks red on the camera.
None of them seem to have back covers on, which is interesting. But the games that was inside it was a little bit more interesting. So when I picked up my sister's, hers had Tetris 2, obviously. Muppets. I thought I can't show them off. So I went for the hardcore ones, which was Wolverine's Revenge. That and also Minority Report and Spawn were unbelievable. And then this that had a multitude of games on it, including ISS.
Go back a bit.
Which I played the ever-loving shit out of.
We got no focus on it. We'll just pretend we saw it.
Oh. Yeah, so it's one of those ones that has like 30 games in one, and it has Batman. I ain't got my glasses on, but Batman Forever, Yoshi, Indiana Jones, and ISS.
Baby could not have looked like someone's granddad more than any.
Honestly, mate, I'm falling apart.
The only thing you needed was glasses on, and then lift them up just as you look at it, and then screw your eyes up before you put them back down again. That's the only thing else. What's this? I can't even.
I went for an eye test like a month and a half ago, and they said my eyesight hasn't. My eyesight hasn't got any worse than it did last time, which my last eye test was maybe 18 months ago.
Yeah, this is where you look at your eye test from 2 years ago, and they go like, rather than giving you a number, because eyesight's like 2010 or whatever, they just wrote dog shit on your last one. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's no worse this time, but last time dog shit. So
yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, back to the Nintendo Switch. Forget dog shit eyesight. It will play Switch. Switch 2 will play Nintendo Switch games. We just don't know whether that will be digital, physical, both, or what. I am quite happy to see Nintendo committing to backwards compatibility. I mean, they have been slowly leaning that way as well, because one of the issues with Switch is, Nintendo is, they haven't really been big on video game preservation. So seeing them lean into it is now. One thing that doesn't get asked, and is probably not going to happen, but I do have questions around it, is forwards compatibility. If the Switch 2 can play Switch games, will the Switch be able to play Switch 2 games? Like, you got like Xbox One and Series consoles can kind of like play the same sort of games-ish, and then you've got the advanced versions, and some go backwards and forwards. Like, are they going to do that? I don't think they will, but I've seen conversations opening this like, so if the Switch 2 will play Switch games, could it go the other way? Could we get it so we stick a cartridge in the old Switch and we just get like the dumbed-down version of it? I was like, no, not a chance. One of the biggest issues with Switches is the hardware just isn't there to allow developers to do what they need to do. So if they have to spend forever bringing everything back down to work on the original Switch, it just won't work. So for me, backwards compatibility is good. Forwards compatibility, would you give up on that? It's not going to happen. Like, people keep mentioning, you never know. No. I mean, we don't know, but I know. You know? No. Okay. Nintendo Switch 2 or Switch successor, whatever you want to call it, is confirmed to be playing Switch games whenever that releases, whenever that may be. But for now, we'll jump into one last story before we tell you about some free games. Hi. Chris Scullion, again at VGC, talks about the Mass Effect TV series now officially being in development, the report says. Fast and Furious 9 writer Daniel Casey is said to be writing the Amazon MGM show. There was conversations about this in the Discord early on this morning. David was talking about he's not the biggest fan of Amazon doing video game crossovers. They've not had the greatest success. Yeah, but I didn't know that this was being made by the Fast and Furious 9 writer. So this is clearly going to be the best writing that's ever been out there. So yeah, I actually really like it. Oh, fuck. Free Game Friday. Tito's clearly behind because we mentioned about 6 days ago. But he's driving. We'll let him off. Nice. Thank you, mate. Too early. Nice. Yeah, so Fast and Furious 9 writer Daniel Casey said to be writing the Amazon MGM show. So back into the article. The TV series based on Mass Effect, which was reported a couple of years ago, is now officially in development. That's according to a new report from Variety, which says Amazon MGM Studios is finally going ahead with the project. The show is going to be written and executive produced by Daniel Casey, who wrote the 9th Fast and Furious movie, and will also be executive producer to produced by Karim Zreik, Jessica Jones, and Ari Arad, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. BioWare's Michael Gamble, the project director on the next Mass Effect game, will also executive produce the series. That bit has kind of just pulled it a little bit back for me. Nice, so I'll repeat that again. So BioWare's Michael Gamble, the project director on the next Mass Effect game, will also executive produce the series. Okay. It was originally reported back in November 2021 that Amazon was nearing a deal to make Mass Effect TV series. At the time, former BioWare lead writer David Gader, who was the lead writer on all 3 Dragon Age games, said the idea of a Mass Effect TV series, or a Dragon Age one, made him cringe just a little. Quote, for starters, Mass Effect and Dragon Age have a custom protagonist, meaning said TV show will need to pick whether said protagonist will be male or female, he explained at the time. Boom, right off the bat, you've just alienated a whole bunch of the built-in fan base who had their hopes up, end quote. This isn't the first time Mass Effect has linked to screen adaptations. Back in 2010, Legendary Pictures announced that it acquired the rights to produce a Mass Effect movie in co-production with Warner Brothers. Ultimately, however, the movie never materialized, with its screenwriter leaving the project in 2012. So on paper, massive video game franchise gets massive TV crossover on Amazon, which has done a very, very good crossover with Fallout very, very recently. Nice. Okay, sign me up. I'll have a little bit of that. But then we start to get into waters that add questions for a number of different reasons. The first one for me, my first question is, I've not played the Mass Effect games. So is this possible? My question. A bunch of Mass Effect fans, clearly from reading this, are like, yeah, we're not sure, because you choose to be, is it Shepherd or Femme Shep? So male Shepherd and female Shepherd? Is that what it is? Is that the main character, or am I getting games mixed up? If anyone's played Mass Effect, feel free to let me know. So you choose to be male or female as the character that goes through the game. So obviously they're taking that choice away, because you can't make interactive TV where it's like that unless it's a first-person TV show and you don't actually ever speak or whatever, and people just assume that you're one or the other. Not going to work. So you're not telling the Mass Effect story. You're telling a version of the Mass Effect story, or a story within the Mass Effect universe. Could still work very, very well. So it's not necessarily bad. You do get people that have worked on big movie blockbusters, ongoing TV series like Jessica Jones, and successful content adaptations like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The downside with that is Fast and Furious, not the greatest franchise for writing. Jessica Jones got canned, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is a very different concept as well from this. So having Michael Gamble, the project director on the next Mass Effect film, in there kind of maybe steadies the ship, possibly, maybe. But also, what's his history? Is the project director on the next Mass Effect game? Does that mean he's easily led and steerable as well? Does he have the history of the previous Mass Effect games? Will he tell people, like, do the stuff that Henry Cavill's famous for going, fuck this, you're fucking up The Witcher, I'm going to leave, sort of stuff? Or is he just going to go, well, the deal's been signed, I don't have the power, so I'll just say yes to whatever, and we'll full Hollywood this game and stuff? So yeah, wrapping all of that back up, my issue is, not an issue, my concern is that this has a lot of moving parts, which means it could either be phenomenal, like Fallout, or it could just be another poor video game adaptation for TV. What are your thoughts, Mr. Bibb?
Yeah, I genuinely, I love Fallout. I never thought it'd be as good as it was. I never thought it'd be something that Samantha would want to watch, put it that way. As soon as you say it's a video game adaptation, you can just see the fucking whites of her eyes as her eyes have rolled into the back of her head. She can't be any more, she couldn't be any less arsed about stuff like that. But from the first episode, she was like, "Fuck it, I'm so in with this." Like it was fantastic. I don't know if you saw the news as well. I think it broke just before we came online that Macaulay Culkin is going to be in season 2.
I did see
Which
that
is
on a thumbnail for a news article. Yeah. He's playing some dude. It did start saying it on the thumbnail for the article, and I just went, I'll read that in a bit, and just moved off it. But yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to more of that. But in relation to this, I'm not a super massive fan of Mass Effect. Like I like Mass Effect. I'm definitely not the person who's going to be critiquing it for its not like the Resident Evil stuff that's come out. Do you know what I mean? Like I have a huge affinity to that one. So when it's being done badly, I've got a lot of things to say about it. With this, as long as it's entertaining, that's okay for me. Because I don't want to say I'm not the demographic, because I am the one people who enjoy the video game series to come and enjoy the TV series. So I am, and I'm also not. I'm kind of in between. I just want to be entertained with this, but I could definitely see the other people who are firmly in with the Mass Effect franchise maybe being a little bit skeptical with this, but none of us know. None of us know until it ends up coming out. But the fact that someone for Fast and Furious is writing for it, and I don't want to shit on that. I just don't think the Fast and Furious films are great films. I think that they're not trying to be cool car films anymore. They're just stone cold action. I mean, The Rock. They are just absolute
Goddamn
action films now, aren't they? Like they're just so batshit, but that's what they're playing into now. They're very self-aware with that. Whether or not that's going to lend itself to this, I'm not too sure. But yeah, I suppose we'll wait and see. It's definitely so. I'll definitely give it a chance. Put it that way. I'll definitely be giving it a chance.
Yeah, I mean, like there was a few comments. Let me jump back. Blah, 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 blah. Cheetah said fuchsia, by the way, was the red color of the Game Boy. I saw Final Fantasy IX director involved and wrote it off already. Nope, I'm out. Presume there'll be lots of fast spaceship chasers across the longest runway in the world with a nuke on a sub and stuff like that. There's enough of a story/universe to build a series out of, but I also know most video game series are shite, Fallout aside. See, that I agree with and I don't agree with. I agree that video game crossovers have been shit, but we've had the Super Mario Brothers movie, we've had The Last of Us, we've had Fallout, we've had the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, so we've had good video game crossovers, and the frequency of those crossovers has increased more recently because Hollywood realizes that, do you know what, the people that have written these stories are successful and accomplished writers. Maybe they know what they're doing. Maybe just getting Hollywood writers to Hollywoodize it isn't really the way to go. So let's trust in what they've got here. And it's only when you start to get them starting to fuck things up that it goes shit again. So like the Witcher series has been really good. The Cyberpunk stuff on Netflix has been really good. The Castlevania games on Netflix series on Netflix has been really good because it's kind of staying, to most part, true to the content. Naturally, we'll see if that continues with Witcher. Now Henry Cavill's gone and there's no one fighting for that. If it drops off the face of the earth, then you know it's Hollywood fucking it up, or TV and movie production, not specifically Hollywood, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm curious as to how this goes because Amazon haven't had the greatest success with, say, like the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power series. Like series 2's been out, and I don't know anyone that's watched it, and I probably do, but no one's spoken to me about watching it. And the first series was an all right watch. It was crap for the story, but it was good in terms of quality of production. So I watched it and kind of have forgotten, and I will watch the other series when I get round to it, but that shows it's not the top of my list and it should be. So there is always the concern that Mass Effect TV series could be that, another one of those, I believe in TV and movie crossing into video games now. I have been converted. More often than not, when you get a big thing like that, they do a decent job of it. Even the Twisted Metal series that I thought was going to be absolute hogwash, apparently is pretty good. Was it on Peacock in America and maybe like Paramount Plus or something over here? I don't remember.
I never give it a chance.
I've not watched an episode of it just because it wasn't available on where I usually watch TV, but apparently it's pretty good. Not the best thing you're ever going to watch, but solid 8s out of 10, which it's better than a lot of fucking TV these days, kind of thing. So I'm going to go in and believe that this is going to be okay. It's probably going to be even better for me because I don't have the attachment to Shepard or any of the other. The closest attachment I've got to Mass Effect is on this shelf here, and that is the helmet. Do I care it's Mass Effect? No, it's just a cool helmet that would look good on my shelf next to my other cool helmet. So that's the only reason I have it. I have no attachment. So for me, it's probably going to be good. For actual fans of the series, though, maybe not. It might have a different angle to it. I just hope that Hollywood realizes, look at how successful The Last of Us has been. Look at how successful Fallout has been. Because it builds on what the game has put in place. So if they build with that same angle of staying true to the narrative and building the story, obviously having to crunch it slightly differently because you are a specific character rather than one you're creating. But whilst that's a very, very fundamental part of the story, it's also something that you accept as a reality and instantly. If people connect, if your male or female lead character is something that people connect to in episode 1, that reality is instantly absorbed and people go, fine, we move forward. Let's give it episode 2. If they could do that, we could be onto something nice, but we'll see. There's enough. I've done a bit. Ari Arad could be a good call. He was the one behind keeping the X-Men and Spider-Man 90s cartoons sticking to the comics personalities whilst allowing to be fleshed out for TV. It will take a lot of calibrating, says JMK. Inside joke for anyone who's played the game. There you go. I haven't, so I don't know what that means. Good talk. Fast and Furious series and their one last ride for what, 7 times? Yeah, but that's just part of the course for the movies, isn't it? The people that want to watch it will watch it. The people that don't. Nice. Jessica Jones season 1 was exceptional. Went downhill fast. I wouldn't have said exceptional. I thought it was decent. I don't think it was exceptional. I don't think any of... Beyond... What's it called? Daredevil. I don't think any of the Marvel stuff on Netflix was exceptional. I think it was good. I mean, once you start to get Luke Cage and what was the fucking Fist of Fury? Iron Fist or whatever. Garbage. But yeah. Bob Hoskins is the best Mario ever. Ish. Forgot the Last of Us series. Yeah. Beach, yeah, I was talking about you. I couldn't remember who'd won the A50X. It's not an update. It's not. The Punisher was all right. Yeah, I've been told that. I never actually watched it though. So that is on the list of things to come back to at some point. Ditchy said it was really good. Yeah, so we kind of maybe have an update on the headset. It's not a good update. The update is basically that it might be the other side of Christmas before we get the headset. We did say it was going to be a long time, but stock shortages are fucking extreme. We are waiting for an A50X ourselves for some content, and we haven't got ours yet. So it's a bit shit. You are waiting for a while. Apologies, we did kind of mention that as it happened, but we will sort you out. It will happen, trust me. And if it gets to the point where it looks like it's not, which it won't, we'll sort something else out instead. So yeah, apologies for the wait, but we got you, homie. Okay, one last story then. Speaking about giveaways, do you want to do some Free Game Friday, babe?
I would absolutely love some, Graham.
Nice. Okay, let's jump over there then. Oh, no, that's a big bit. Let's go this way. Morgan Park and the team at PC Gamer always give away free games. Well, they don't. Epic do, and they keep you updated with it. So what's free on the Epic Game Store right now until November the 14th? It is Deceive Inc. Up for grabs this week is the quirky and playful extraction shooter Deceive Inc., where you take on the role of spies battling it out in a sneaky heist. You have to hide undercover among the NPCs while using your gadgets, abilities, and wiles to try be the one that gets away with the objective. I was trying to read, but the sentence just kept on going. Fuck's sake. Gets away with the objective of your hard spy work. Inevitably, it will boil down to some kind of gun battle, but all the intervening time is packed with sneaky hit and run and info gathering. It's a clever premise that we really loved in our Deceive Inc. review, and then naturally link through to the review. So if you want to see it, it's there. Anyway, it's free right now. It went free yesterday, about 4:30-ish UK time. I say 4:30. I think it's 4 p.m. UK time. The Epic Game Store updates, and that'll run till
8 minutes away.
What's that?
8 minutes away.
Yesterday. November 7th to November 14th. So it's Thursday. Okay. There you go. So you're 8 minutes from being 24 hours away. Correct. That's what Baby meant. We both were the meanings.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, November 7th to November 14th. So on Thursday, it will update at 4 p.m. for the next game. So if you want freebies, check it out. Nice. The Punisher was... Yeah, so Ditches mentioned The Punisher, and I have meant to go back to watch that. Apparently it is decent. The thing with The Punisher as well is it was written with the same sort of mindset of Daredevil. It was the first attempt, none of the weight of any of the MCU or other universes and stuff lying into it. The Punisher only went in with a bit of awareness of Daredevil. But then after that, that's when they started to write in, let's bring in Jessica Jones and Luke Steele and Iron Fist, and we'll have some mega crossover. And it was like the MCU and the NCU, the Netflix cinematic universe. But Punisher was pre all of the weight of all of that stuff weighing on the story writers. So, yeah, apparently it was decent. So I've been told. Nice. Nietzsche has just added the game to the library, and it's finished downloading. That's what happens when you've got gigabit internet. Nice. Punisher was good, probably my favourite alongside Daredevil. I'll have to give it a go. Not that I'm not wanting to. I watched all the other shit ones. I just never got round to Punisher. Dolph Lundgren, best Punisher ever. He was good for an 80s comic book film. I'm worried the new Daredevil reboot will be too Disney-fied. Well, you think Disney can't keep strong established stories going? No. I mean, Agatha was okay. It was very Disney, though. It was very colourful. And it's just another colourful thing in the MCU. So as its own thing, it was okay. But tying it into all the rest of the MCU... whatever. But anyway, only one I haven't watched is Iron Fist. Gave up his shit. Don't even bother. I mean, they've given up on it all anyway. It just was not worth it. Anyway, we are wrapping things up. For anyone that has just dropped in, let me give you a quick roundup. The PS5 Pro is, it's there for anyone to buy if you want it. It costs a shitload of money. And Scalpers thought people wanted it so much that they'd pay extra. Turns out they didn't. So Scalpers are losing money. LOL. Kojima's Death Stranding is available for Xbox in a surprise release. It was announced at midnight night before. So it was launched midnight, first thing in the morning yesterday on Xbox, and it's half price. So if you want to play it, there you go. Nintendo Switch 2 will play old Switch games, current Switch games, you know what I mean? And the Mass Effect TV series is in production. Plus, you can get Deceive Inc. for free from the Epic Game Store. Nice. Done, mate.
All done.
Yeah. Main actor was dreadful. What, an Iron Fist? Yep. Any of the new Star Wars series have proved Disney can't carry a series. Do you know what? I actually didn't mind the Acolyte. Like, the main villain kind of thing in it, I thought was decent. Some of the action scenes and stuff in it was decent. I feel like it was not as bad as some of the other shite. It's almost like the victim of the other shite being shiter, and this being not exceptional has dragged it down, but there you go. Anyway, see you later for clubs if it's going ahead still, says ads. Potentially. Speaking of that, we're going to wrap things up. We are done here for the news, but before that happens, Mr. Bibb, is there out that you'd like to talk about?
Yes, again, we'll be live tonight with some Pro Clubs action around about 8 p.m. So make sure, obviously, you guys are obviously in the Discord. No fixer tonight. Club captain has been fined and has been given a warning.
God damn it.
Hopefully he'll turn up maybe in the coming weeks, who knows. But yeah, the rest of you guys, if you want to play tonight, we'll be playing somewhere, whether it's with Rush or actually some 11v11, I don't know. But 8 o'clock-ish, we'll be looking to go live as and when I'm able to get the boy to bed. And he not just... Did you say... Well, you probably didn't see last week. He woke up about 10:30. Waltzed into my room,
sat there chatting away into the microphone. Yeah, so I heard you going like, "Sorry, lads," and Fitz said, "No, it's all right, yeah."
Just waffling away.
I'll put into like, go on. Anyone that watches Friday night streams is used to someone rabbing it away with a not quite fully developed adult IQ anyway. So there you go, mate.
Anyway. If you would like to help shape next week's episode of The Scoop, there is 2 ways you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Autos across all major social media platforms. There you go. Nailed on. Or get involved with our Discord. All we need from you is the URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next episode, which will be at what time? Next Friday, Mr. Graham Day.
Definitely not 10 a.m.
Yeah, we usually aim at 10 a.m. This week we had a meeting at 10 a.m. and next week the same thing is happening. So we won't be at 10 a.m. We'll be as soon after as possible. So yeah, we'll see you next week sometime, mate. Nice. Great. Glad we all got that covered. Beach says, P.S. Tell Logitech they can order an A50X on Amazon for delivery tomorrow. Nice. You know what? If it gets to that point, we'll just fucking do that. But we'll sort it, mate. We'll sort it. Promo stock and warehousey stock for retailers is a different thing, but you know that anyway. I can't believe Disney tried adding She-Hulk to Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, everyone else was in it. Fucking Paul Mullen was in it, so why not? Good damn. Disappointed. No Blue Sky social link. Good point. Tito, how did
posted it on thingy today, didn't we?
Yeah, if anyone's not on Blue Sky, is on Blue Sky, go and follow Ice Cream Uploads on Blue Sky. If anyone's on Threads, go and follow Ice Cream Uploads on there as well. Nice. Anyway, we are going to bounce. Please stick around. We'll drop a little bit of a raid on one of our friends, as we always like to. You will get extra sprinkles for that. We can help someone's day, but we're going to bounce away now. Join Bibby tonight from stream time-ish, and I'll be back stream time-ish tomorrow for some PUBG as well. 10 a.m.-ish, but you know, ish. Anyway, have yourselves a lovely weekend. We love you all. Stay frosty.